So what we're going to do today, it's what I want to teach you. It's a very basic structure and scheme to memorize the principal shadows of the human face. And memorizing these shadows has as the function for us to be able to sketch and draw portraits in a way that doesn't rely on contour lines, but can function with just with shadows and shaping too, which helps make the portraits more realistic and less graphic. So our goal today is to understand where these shadows usually live on the human face. And to do that, we're also going to do a very basic scheme of facial proportions. And there is a ton of different schemes for facial proportions out there because, you know, there are different ways to make this structure and different ways to organize this information. So the scheme that we're doing, it's not like an absolute dogma. It's just the scheme that I've always been using since forever. It's the first one that I learned and I've been using forever. And it's just one of the options you have and the one I'm sharing with you today. But I also encourage you to experiment with different ones that you may find online and to find the one that works best for you and for your observation process. The materials that we're going to need today are just a piece of paper and then one pencil. It's better if it's a little bit soft. So if you have choice from 2B, 3B, 4B up, this is, I think, 8B, even too much, but like any one of these soft, higher B number pencils, it's gonna be okay for the exercise. And then for the shadows and high contrast, you can do it with the pencil itself if you want. If you have a black marker or a black pencil, the darker color will make it easier for you. So just, we're gonna need that later, so don't worry about that. I'm gonna do the demo in a step-by-step way. And I'm gonna make poses, like I'm gonna pause after each step or each little group of steps, so you have time to do it on your own. And if you have questions at any point, just drop them in the chat. And once in a while, I'm gonna come and check in what you're doing, so you can just, you know, raise your drawing to the camera, and I can come and see how it's going and if we're all on the same page. So we're gonna draw a scheme for the structure of the face. Okay, so not the skull, but just the face. So imagine from forehead to chin, okay, like a mask in a way. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're gonna try to draw a big circle like this. See, it's not that, okay. It doesn't matter if it's not a perfect Giotto style circle. And this circle, when we look at it, imagine that it's the circle that goes from the forehead along the temples and then cuts under the cheekbones. So it's the upper area of the head. Do it like, I don't know, it's big kind of as my hand. Don't do it too small, because if we draw too small, then everything is super hard. And then we're gonna do a second smaller circle, just slightly overlapping. Don't do it too small. Again, medium size like this, it's okay. And imagine that this is the volume of the chin, like it's the circle that covers how much area the chin and the front of the head is made. Then we can connect these two circles to create the line of the jaw. And we can have softer connections or more angular or harder connection. So it depends on the shape of the person that we're drawing. So the shape of the jaw will look different from person to person. Then what we're gonna do is a vertical line just cutting right through the center like this. And then we're gonna divide this space, so from the forehead to the bottom of the chin, we're gonna divide this length into 3 equal segments. So eyeball it and try to mark where the 3 equal segments will be. It doesn't matter if they're not perfect, it's just an average scheme. So all the proportions, I'm gonna stop here so you have time to do this. All the proportions that we're gonna look at today, they are just the average proportions, which means that because like every single person will have something that it's a little bit in a different position from these proportions, and that's what makes that person them. That's how you create you recognize what are the physiognomical characteristics of each individual, because you can compare it to what a generic abstract average will be. So you have a reference point from which you can say, oh, that person has big eyes, small nose, big mouth, or like the space between the eyes and the eyebrows is small or big. You can say if it's small or big compared to an average concept. So once we're done, are we done with the 3 sections? Yeah? Did we manage? Okay. Once we are done with the 3 sections, on the second one and the third one, we're gonna divide in 3 again. Yeah, this bottom one is a little bit bigger, but it's okay. So, and we can do a dotted line just to differentiate it. Like this. Again, I'm gonna stop a second so you can do it. Okay, so once you have all these lines, we have everything we need to place. Can you recap on the lines, please? So we have the big, I'm gonna repeat everything. Bigger circle, smaller circle, connect with the jawline, softer or sharper. Then from the top of the forehead to the bottom of the chin, this length I divide in 3 equal sections. So I draw a second line here and then another line here. Then on the 2 bottom sections, I divide the section in 3 equal parts again, and I do a dotted line here and then here. 1, 2, 3 equalish parts. It doesn't have to be geometrically perfect. And then we do a dotted line here and there too. If you're being very fast, do 2 of them. Like do another one so you can do the exercise twice and it's good for you to repeat it. So if you manage to follow along fast, just do 2. Okay. Then once we have all of this, can I go? Yeah. So once we have all of this, we can start placing the elements of the face. So the main elements. So the first thing that we know is that on this line, we will place the eyebrows. So you can draw an abstract eyebrow shape, like whatever eyebrow shape you like. They're not the same. But what do you say about eyebrows? They are sisters, not twins. So even in the drawing, it's okay if they don't look exactly the same. So on the first line, we have the eyebrows. Then we need to place the eyes. The eyes are between each other. They have, again, on an average, between the eyes, there is the distance of another eye. So I can start by just drawing the size of the eye shape that I want, and then I can draw the eye across this line. So this is a generic, again, abstract generic eye shape. If you want, you can also draw the crease, the double eyelid, or they can be without double eyelid. Remember that the eye needs to be across this line, not above, not below. The eyebrows are across, halfway through the marking line. And then, since we've drawn the eyes, we can place the pupil like this in the center. This is gonna look like a very generic alien face because it's super symmetric and super average. So it's normal if it doesn't look that interesting as a human face, basically. It's a scheme. We're not doing the portrait of any specific person for now. So to the eyes. Eye position difference from geographical? Not really. It's more the shape that changes because the eye position is related to the eye socket, so to the bone structure below. And as far as I know, depending on geographical regions, the cheekbones can be higher, the bridge of the nose can be lower or higher, but the placement of the eye socket, it's kind of average across. So what can change is the shape that the eye takes depending of if there is a monolid or double eyelid, and also on how much the eyebrow bone is forward or backwards. So that changes the appearance of the eye area a lot. But it's all skin and muscles and yeah, okay, brow bone, but not the eye socket itself. So there may be a little bit of difference, like they may look higher because the cheekbones are higher, but if you look at the overall shape, they're actually always kind of there somehow. But yeah, this is completely like it's like we are making an abstract skull and face not related to anywhere, or maybe probably because of how anatomy studies have developed, highly biased towards European and white skeletons, but you know, we have to deal with that. And so we have the eyes. Wait, how should we place the pupil? Yeah, so the pupil, let me lower this. A relaxed eye, the pupil is not in the center, because if I draw it in the center, it's like I'm scared and like my eyes are completely open and I'm terrified. So, and if I don't put it half and half, because if I cut it above and below, it means that I'm squinching my eyes and I'm looking very bad at you. So the relaxed generic position of the pupil, it's cut above with a little bit of space below. And just place it in the center. That's enough. Then from here, we go to the nose. The nose falls on this line. The width of the nose, again, extremely average. It's usually as the width, as the space between the eyes. So on this line, I'm gonna draw just the tip of the nose, again, in a schematic way, doesn't have to be pretty. And the bridge of the nose is not these lines. The bridge of the nose, it's more in the center, like this. And we usually don't draw it with lines. The nose is one of the things that more than any other is described by shapes rather than contour lines. So a very common error is that I'm drawing a portrait and then I draw the nose like this, you know, with all these lines, and that makes it extremely graphic right away. So let's just place the tip of the nose there. Don't worry about making it perfect. We're gonna do more than one. So just try to understand, to understand why and where the things are, but don't worry about drawing them prettily. It's not our goal today. Our goal today is to understand the concept, not to make a pretty drawing, okay? So after the nose, we want to place the mouth on this line. So the first line, the first dotted line of the bottom section. And the mouth, again, on average, will be as wide as the space between the beginning of the pupil, okay? So the middle line of the mouth is here. Let me do these 3 sections better. So the middle line of the mouth is here. And then I'm gonna put the cupid's bow above and then the bottom lip here. And then this is usually where the volume of the chin is. Again, when we draw the mouth, unless the person isn't wearing lipstick or like pencil lip liner, or it has a very strong contrast in skin color between the mouth and the rest of the face, the shape of the mouth is described more by shadows rather than by contours. Okay, so the final thing, oh wait, I forgot. We have the ears that live here in the section between the eyebrows and the nose. I always forget. So if you look, the ears are always here between the nose and the eyebrows. And again, this can also tell you if the ears are bigger or smaller compared to the general proportions. And then the thing that you can observe is that if I pull a line from the corner of the eyebrows, along the corner of the eye, along the corner of the mouth, and I go down, I will obtain what I friendly call the Iron Man head, which is this squares, like this squarish section in the center of the face that marks where all the facial features are. And it's also a good line for where the angle, the peak of the cheekbones are, and it's also a good reference from here for the from the end of the eyebrows, it's where my temples will go. So it's where the plane of the forehead changes. And here too, like I have the center of the face and then the plane of my cheek changes. So it goes from the side to the front. So after drawing all of these, one of mine looks like an effect of a criminal. Yeah, that's why. It is supposed to look like the average thing of a criminal. Absolutely, absolutely. It's what it's supposed to look like. Okay, if you finish your scheme, just raise it up so I can take a look, and then we can start with the shadows. Hold it still in front of the camera so it can focus. Okay, yeah, good job, people. Yeah, I can see. Nice, nice. Good, good, good. Very well. I'm looking at the second page. Very good, very good. You draw them big enough, so we're gonna be able to color them in. Okay, so now let's talk about shadows. We're not gonna get into, it's okay, Justine. We're not gonna get into the super specific shapes of the volumes. We're gonna observe them with the shadows. We're gonna memorize these shadows because these shadows are what makes the face 3D, basically. So what we're going to do is we're gonna assume a generic light that comes from here, so high and 45 degrees on the side, which is the average way that the human face is lit when we are walking around. The sun is there. If you are in a room, the light is up. So usually we're used to see faces illuminated with this kind of light source. If you look at on my face, I have my light source here on the side, and I have, you know, all the shadows that come from that way. So what we're going to do is, if the light is coming from here, we're gonna start going through all the shadows. So the first shadow that I will have, it's gonna be here under my brow bone. I could have chosen a different marker, but it's okay. So here under my brow bone, until the inner corner of the nose. Sorry, I need to change brush marker because I really don't like this one. Let's go with this one. Much better. You know, when you want to do eye contrast, you need something eye contrast. You can do this with the pencil too, it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna do it with the marker because it shows up more on camera too. Then on the eye, because the eye is a ball, I will always have a shadow here in the two corners, and then a little bit below here. I don't do because we are nice when we do portraits, we usually don't do the shadow of the dark circle. And then in the eye, I have some shadow under the upper lid, and then I can do my pupil like this. And then I go to the second eyebrow, and same thing here, from the side of the nose, going under the brow bone and all the way here until this diagonal line that we drew before. And then around the eye, above and below, then the upper line, and then I can draw my eye like this. And then on the nose, again, the nose as a bridge, the bridge creates a peak. So I will always have a shadow here, which is the projected shadow of the nose on the cheek, because if the light comes from up there, it means that the shadow of my nose is gonna fall here on the side. And here, because I have the cheekbone, it means that this side of the face and this side, sorry, I forgot the forehead here, and this side of the forehead are going to be in the dark as well. I need to get a bigger marker like this. So I can do this whole side of the face in the shadow as a starting point, like this, going along the line that I drew before. Then on the tip, wait, I'm gonna stop here because I'm going too fast. 1 second. I'm gonna stop here and then we're gonna do the rest. It's a V-sign pen. It's just a black ink pen, but I was considering of moving on to a bigger black marker for the next one. But you can also do it with the pencil. If you're doing it with the pencil to fill up areas faster, you can take your pencil and hold it like this. And this way you can fill in bigger areas faster. It doesn't need to be a black marker. I'm just picking random black markers I have. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. So the nose, the tip of the nose is a sphere, so it means that it has its own shadow, and the same thing for the nostrils. It means they have their own shadow, and the tip of the nose too, because the light is coming from there, is going to project a shadow here between the nose and the upper lip. So here, because if you touch even on your face, this part of the upper lip, it's a different plane from your lips. So if it's a different direction in space, so it means that there will be a shadow too. And we can also do this. This ear is going to be in the shadow. I'm gonna wait a second because I see people that are still drawing, so I'm gonna give you some time to catch up. Okay, so then we have the lips. And again, the shadows of the lips tend always, when the light is from above, we always have the upper lip that is gonna be in the shadow because it comes forward. And then there is the middle line, which is usually darker. And then the bottom lip is protruding, so it comes forward. And then we have a shadow here between the bottom lip and the line of the chin. And then the chin itself creates, because it's like generically a sphere, it creates a shadow that reconnects with the rest of the shadow on the side, like this. And like this, we have all the shadows that we need in a face to understand the features without drawing contour lines. Because if you look at this, and you can see it well because it's black, it's high contrast, I can understand the lips and the nose and everything without drawing them with contours, which is the main thing, like the most important thing, okay? So what I suggest you to do, like if you're finished, one good exercise is to take another piece of paper and try to redraw only the shadows. Try to copy only the shadows. I'm gonna do it here. Wait. I'm gonna do it here, like smaller on the side so you can see it. And I'm gonna use another marker because that one was too small and it was driving me crazy. So, or I can do it with, let's do it with the pencil so you can see what you can do it with the pencil. So basically what you can do, you just need to have the generic shape of the face just to know like how big it is. And then what you can do is just start, wait, I'm not doing it too small, but just start copying the shape of the shadows without like all with the same intensity. So without doing chiaroscuro or anything, we're just doing the shape of the shadows in pencil. Without even drawing the other lines, because we already have studied where they should be. And then here I have the shadow of the nose, and then the shadow under the nostrils, the shadow between the nose and the mouth, then the darker upper lip, shadow between the bottom lip and the chin, and then we're doing this. And you can see again, I'm not drawing contour lines, but I can achieve realism or describe the feature of a face just with these shadows. This is why we are trying to learn them. So take your time. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes time, finish up the scheme, and then beside it, so looking at it, you can, if you have space, do it the same size because that's easier. I couldn't fit both in the camera. Try to do another scheme, just the shadows, like freehand, and see what happens. And then when you're done, show them to me, raise them up and show them to me. Oh, look at that. Very nice, Leonora, or Leonora, Leo's friend. No, yeah, your friend, Leo's friend. Very nice. Love the big puppy eyes. Squeeing with the old chair at the end of the room. That's amazing. I want a rolly chair too to do that when my students say things that make me squeak. Awesome. Let's see, second page. Oh, okay, somebody's reading the second page. Marie, very good. Karima, good job, very delicate. And Najma, okay. Inga, okay. Very nice. Very accurate shadows. Good job. Then let's see here. Arash, okay. And Shira, good job. Leila, good job. Hey, you're good. Anne-Marie Spencer, good job. Carol, nice. Okay. Ah, you're good, you're good. And Justine, nice. And Leo in red, love it. And Claire and Elsa, oh, so nice. I love that Elsa looks like a kid's face. And that's absolute, like, it's super normal because she's used to her own proportion. That's brilliant. And Virag, okay. Bonnie, good job. Let's see here. Deborah, nice. Very nice. I think then we can, since I see you all like on top of this, let's take a look at a couple of schemes. Oh, Florge, okay, wait, there, nice. Let's look also at a couple of schemes to organize the face in 3/4. So, because this is very flat and forward, but I think we can also, I think you're good enough. We can take a look at how to approach the face when it's 3D and a little bit in space. I'll try to make it as simple as possible. Let's go here. Let's use this page. So this, what we said, this scheme here, we said it's the face, so it doesn't include the skull. So let's take a look at the skull and how it works. I'm gonna draw a small scheme from the side just so you understand what I'm doing, and then we're gonna work on 3/4. So from the side, the human skull, like a very common mistake when we draw portraits is that we draw the face like this with a very short, small skull. But actually, the human skull is kind of like a couple of Olympic rings going backwards, and then the neck will start from here. And here in the middle, I have my ear, and then I have the jawline that comes forward. And here I have half of my Iron Man face, the one that we drew before, this one, okay? The Iron Man face, which again, I hope Marvel doesn't come at me because I call it like that, please, no trademark. But the Iron Man face is your best friend. I hope that everybody knows who Iron Man is. It's a random Marvel superhero who is a rich guy that builds suits, and the helmet of the suit is red and gold, and the gold part, it's this central part. So that's why I call it Iron Man face. I shouldn't assume that everybody knows who Iron Man is. So this is how the skull looks from the side. This means that I can use this shape and move it into space in 3D to try to find what happens and apply the same proportions. So wait, let's do it here so I can do it a little bit bigger. So when I'm drawing a face, the process that I will do is this. So I can draw a generic oval just to see, okay, to say my face is there somewhere. Then what I want to do is to pull a line here in the middle and along the skull that will mark where the middle of my face is. And then what I want to look for is the line of the eyebrows and the width of the chin, because then I can connect these two and I can have my Iron Man face. Then from here, what I want to do is I want to find, I want to find this curve, the curve of the skull. So to find the curve of the skull, what I'm gonna do is start from here, which is, remember, we did it before, here is the corner of the eyebrow where the temple is. So what we try to do is find the temple and follow it along, and same thing on the other side. And this becomes my forehead. See, we already have the first of the 3 sections of our face. And then I can follow this line behind, and this will become my skull. If I pull the line of the eyebrows across here in the middle, like I saw before, I can find where the ear is. And then I can connect the ear to the chin, and then I can have the neck here. So I already have my figure placed, and I have my 3 sections of the face. So I'm gonna stop for a second so you can do this. I'm gonna mark the Iron Man face a little bit darker so you can recognize it, because I drew many lines. Then this is the line of the temple, and this is where my ear is. Okay, so try to draw this scheme. Okay, I'm gonna redo the sequence slower. So generic, I'm gonna do it smaller. Generic oval. Line that goes in the middle where the feature, this line, I'm putting it here arbitrarily. When you're looking at a person, you try to do the line where the nose and the center of the face is. I don't know, the class will end somewhere between 7 and 8, 7, maybe, depends how quick we go. But the recording is gonna be put, if you miss the end, you can find they will put the recording somewhere at one point. So then I try to look for the line of the eyebrows, okay? Again, arbitrary here, when I look at a person, I'm gonna try to find that. And then look at how wide the space between the eyebrows is, how wide the space of the chin is, and then I connect the two, and I have my Iron Man face. Then from this corner, I pull a line along the temple, and I can do the same along the forehead there. And this will allow me to find the curve of the skull. Then between this line and in the middle of the skull, I will have my ear. Then I can connect the ear to the chin. So I can find the jawline, I can add the neck. And then here I will have my forehead, and here my second line. Okay, show me your scheme. Let's see how it's going. Up, up, up. Okay. Okay. Very good. And Claire and Elsa, do one a little bit bigger, because we're also going to put some shadows on that. And yeah, same thing, Valentina, try to do one like big enough that you can put some shadows. Very good, very good. Amelia, very nice. Second page too. Good job. Aishani, you also did it in the other direction. Come on, pro level there. Ha, you're flexing. Nice. Okay, Marie. Okay, Angie. Okay, Emily and the group. Justine, Shira. Very good, everybody. Georgie. Okay, and Marilyn. Oh, look at the nice stone paper block. Very cool. Very nice. Awesome. Okay, so now that we have our three-quarter scheme, we need to, go back to what we just studied. So we divide these two sections into 3, 2. And then we have to start putting the features. So the first feature, the easier one to put, is the eyes. And in this case, we're gonna draw a full ball here and here, because it's gonna be easier to visualize the eye in the eye socket, like this. And then between the eyes going forward, I find my nose, and I can draw it as a sphere with a smaller sphere and another one peeking on the other side, connected by the nose bridge. Oh, sorry, I forgot the poor eyebrows. We can put the eyebrows there. And then from the eyes, again, I can go forward and place my mouth here. So I have the Cupid's bow just under the nose, the mouth, and then the volume of the chin. What you will notice is that the moment that I put features on this, the outline on the side will not be a straight line, but will have to follow along. So here, the forehead is here and goes forward to, okay, wait, I'm gonna do this later because again, I'm doing too many things at once. And I'm gonna repeat this here just for clearance. So the three sections. Then eyeballs with the eyes. Like this look like Pepe the Frog eyes, if you need another cultural reference, like pop culture reference. Then eyebrows here. Then the nose, tip of the nose, nostrils, nose bridge here. Then mouth, Cupid's bow, bottom lip, volume of the chin. It will still look like an alien. It's or like a droid. It's normal. We are really going super average here. How is going? Desperation, or are we managing? Yeah, sort of. Good. This is more complicated. It is normal that it's more complicated. I just threw it at you because I saw you so on top on the frontal shadows that I trust your ability to come along on 3/4 too. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to make you notice, it's how the side of the face will change. So we were saying, I follow along the forehead, then I have the brow bone, then I go along the shape of the eye, and then there is the cheekbone. Okay, so there is this kind of angle going on, and then near the mouth there is another bump, and then there is the bump of the chin. So that's how the shape of the profile in 3/4 develops. And then on this other side, we need also to consider that my line of the cheekbone will extend to the ear. So the connection here between the jaw and the, the cheekbone, the upper bone there, will create also another specific shadow. So, and then we have the ears. And if we want, we can also put a couple of muscles on the neck and collarbones. So it's not a floating head if you want. So check these contour lines, and then I'm gonna go in, and actually we'll have to go in with the smaller marker again. I'm gonna go in and mark the shadows, which are again gonna be a little bit more complicated here, but the principle is the same. Giving you a couple of minutes to refine these lines. Okay, so let's look at the shadows. To do the shadows, we're gonna have the light coming from, again, from above. And what we want to do is follow the same pattern. So under the eyebrow and along the nose, and then around the ball of the eyeball, and then again, the two rounded shadows there. And then on the other side, the same, from under the eyebrow up to the edge of the Iron Man face, then along the eyeball, and then downwards here and there. Then the shadow of the nose from the side going to the cheek, the shadow of each nostril. So here, and then here the shadow of the collarbone, the cheekbone that goes on the whole cheek here, almost to the edge of the jawline. Then in the ear, we can look at the shadow under there, and then here. And then usually there is the projected shadow of the ear on the skull, the projected shadow of the jawline on the neck. And then on the, I missed the temple, again, a little bit of shadow here on the temple. Like this. And then again, the projected shadow of the nose, of the tip of the nose, there. Like this, the upper lip that is darker, shadow between the bottom lip and the chin, and then the rounded shadow of the chin that connects with the rest of the jaw. And then we can have the shadow of the chin on the neck, which is usually a triangular shadow like this. And then the shadow between the collarbones and the other triangular shadow here. And then a shadow under, if we really want to go a little bit in the neck, and then the back, bottom of the skull. Back of the neck. Alien and bold, but still human. So try to apply your shadows. I'm gonna leave you a couple of minutes to do this. Take your time, try to reconnect to what we did before. And after you're done, copying the shadows, I would like for you to do the same thing as we did before. So just try to place just the start of the sketch, so just the Iron Man face, just to have a generic reference of where things are, and then try to copy these shadows on top to see what happens. Try to copy the shadows without drawing the contour lines of things. Try to describe the shapes just by placing the shadows and see what happens. And try to see how these shadows are enough to understand what a face looks like. So the idea of behind all this process is that if when you're trying to draw the portrait of someone, you try to focus on the shape of the shadows and their positioning on the face rather than trying to mark the physiognomic, the facial features on paper using graphism. And by graphism, I mean like drawing the eye, like we did in the screen, you know, drawing the eye like this, the nose, the mouth like this, the nose like this. If you try to avoid the graphism and the line drawing, and when you're placing the features on the paper, you try to concentrate on what shape the shadows have around that eye, that nose, that mouth, that will allow you to achieve greater realism in your portraits, because you will use descriptors of volume and things, because the problem when we use graphisms and symbols to draw portraits is that we tend to draw the eyes in the same way for everybody, because that's a way we draw a human eye. And so it gets harder and harder to get that portrait to look like that person, because we're just drawing the eye in the only way we can draw it. When we start trying to draw the shadows instead of the lines, because we are observing the shape of the shadow that we have in front of us, that will allow us to draw the eye shape or the nose shape way more similar as our model or our subject than, you know, trying to reproduce graphisms will be. So try to experiment with this. And a good halfway exercise for this process is taking tracing paper and taking a picture with clear shadows. And then with the tracing paper, you try to color in the shadows over the portrait. And then you just look at the shadows and try to copy those. And that exercise will train you even more to recognize these kind of shapes. So as you finish, basically when you're finished, as you finish, we can do the usual round of feedback that I do at the end of every class that I teach, where you can raise your hand using the reaction option, and then I can call you in. And I would like for you to share, usually what I ask my students, share one thing that during the process made sense, that you understood, that it's clear, and then one thing that you struggled or that you will do different next time. And yes, because people always ask me, let's see if I can avoid forgetting this time. I'm gonna put in the chat my Instagram if you want to follow me, or if you're gonna do, if you don't have the camera, but you're going to post your exercise or future exercises. What I always say in my classes, once you're my student forever, even if it's just for one free class. So you can just tag me, come ask me stuff in my DMs. I will be super happy to support you and be there for you in your future endeavors. I'm also gonna add, I'm also gonna write my email, because somebody asked my email too last time, which is quite easy. It's just this. So if you don't have Instagram, you can also write me emails. Don't be shy. I'm super, super happy to interact with people and provide help and support to be more creative and find comfort in art. And what else I was going to say? I forgot. Whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna take the spotlight off. So if you want to share your work and share your feedback, just, you know, wave your hand, use the raise your hand option. Perfect. So then I can call you and we can do it in order. Claire and Elsa.
Hi, we really enjoyed this a lot, G. It was a lot of fun, and you were saying how it was really helpful just to get it really laid out so simply, how to get the proportions right on a face. And I think especially for Elsa, that was really interesting. Yeah. To experiment with that. She's super into it. We want to do your facial features class as well. So yeah, I think it's convinced her. I was trying to persuade her before, and now she's like, yes, I want to do this. So yeah, we really enjoyed it. So you want to show your picture? This is our little shadow. We're stuck with the small ones in the end. I know they're really tiny. So I don't know if you can
No, but it's clear. It's clear.
Yeah, and that was
nice.
Shadow. Mine looks like
Yes, because I'm also going to teach I'm teaching anatomy at the moment for the Berlin drawing room, and the next module is going to be facial features.
Yeah.
Go from the skull out. Bye, everybody. And before you leave, just write in the, if you're leaving, write in the chat where you found out about this class, because administration wants to know and reach you better. And in the facial feature class, we're gonna do the skull and then the muscles, and then so it's gonna be very scientific, Elsa. You need to think if you're ready for it. Okay, thank you so much, Claire. And then we have Tina. Unmute yourself, dear. Perfect.
Unmute. Can you hear me now?
Perfect, yes. So how did it go?
So that was my first attempt. And then I was quite pleased towards the end, where I was getting these little sketches at the bottom, which represented people.
Yeah.
Without any lines.
Yeah, that's exactly the process. Like starting from the scheme to, you know, analyze the whole structure, and then use the scheme of the shadows to sketch fast. That's perfect. You can use it a lot in sketching and other situations. Yeah. Very good.
My other ones looked a bit like Martians, though, with big heads. I don't quite know where I went wrong there.
It's the boldness. The bold head goes Martian, you know. we are conditioned by the aliens. Nice. Yeah, you did a lot of sketches. I'm very happy. Good job, Tina.
Thank you very much. That was a really enjoyable session. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very happy. And anybody else? Okay, Carol. Use there is a reaction button in a button at the bottom. Use that so I can call you. Go, Carol.
I really liked the idea of focusing on the shadows and getting the just like looking at the shadows to get the dimension. I definitely struggled with the 3/4 view, and my little guy kind of looks like a Martian too. But when I did it without the lines, I kind of thought it looked like Shakespeare. So
Yeah.
I was really happy.
It has that, British person with small lips and very deep expression kind of mood.
Yeah. I loved it.
Thank you, Carol. It's lovely. Good. And then we have Emily. Unmute yourself. Yeah, you're unmuted. Okay. How did it go? Can you put it closer? Thank you.
Well, an alien too, but I really love the shade and to work on the shadow rather than on the lines. And I think it's very, very helpful to help to understand the structure. It obliges you to focus on the structure and just do the shadows. And I love that. It's really, really helpful.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you to you all. I really love when there is a table that joins these classes. It's like, it feels very homey. I really like when there are these, friends table, like, people hanging out with me. I'm very happy.
It's a really nice thing to do together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Awesome. And then Shani, my hero. Unmute yourself. Okay. So how did it go?
So it went quite well, although I think the structure of the entire scheme turned out a little odd for me. I'll be practicing that later on.
Good. But you did a very good job, and you also did it looking in the opposite direction, which makes it even harder. So I think,
Yeah.
you did it very well.
I'd actually made the head turn on the opposite side by accident. So
It was a good accident. Very good. I'm very happy. Nice. Good job, Ashani.
thank you.
Thank you. And then we have anybody else that wants to share? Bye to everybody that's going. Thank you so much. And Anne-Marie, I see you raising your drawing.
Me? Yes.
No,
Unmute.
okay. Anne-Marie. Wait.
Okay. It was fun. I have to do some more work on getting the 3/4. It was very informative though. And then here was the first guy.
Very good. Thank you.
Enjoyed
Anne-Marie.
it very, very much. It was just way informative.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anne-Marie. And then Marie Fournier, you? Okay, unmute yourself. Marie Fournier, you need to unmute yourself. You're muted right now.
You don't hear me? It's okay?
Yeah, now I hear you.
Okay, thank you. The first one I like. The other one, 3/4, look like a robot that will come alive soon if we talk to him.
It's super expressive. I think that the part that makes it like a little bit aggressive, it's that I'm gonna redraw the eye here. So when you have eyeball, you want to cut the eyelids.
Okay, that's why. Exactly.
And so you can shade the eyeball, and you can shade
I missed that thing. Yeah.
And then he can look a little bit less angry.
No, it's like robot. Well, thank you again for this nice class. I will need to review the recording for the, all the 3/4 line and how to proceed and I'm sure it's something you don't get the first time. It's a long process, but it's interesting. All the line. Yeah. So that was nice. And thank you again. See you maybe another time.
Thank you so much, Marie. And the important thing, like I said before, the thing that I wish for you the most to bring home, rather than memorizing all the structures, is this awareness that the shapes of the shadows are more important than the contour lines. If you get only that from this class, it's already going to improve your work so much. I think there was a question in the chat. I'm coming. Somebody, about the nose. Okay, very quickly about the nose, then I'm gonna go back for the feedback. So the nose, the important thing is to remember that there is the nose bridge, the balls of the tip and the nostrils, and shadows, they are from the sides of the nose bridge and then around each sphere here, and then it projects a shadow below, and this, it's gonna be, it's the tip of your nose, and then you have the nostrils there, and then you can blend everything together with intermediate shadows like this. Okay, then we have Bonnie.
So first I have my criminal.
Okay, nice.
And
it's a smooth criminal.
I'm sorry?
It was a very, it was a dad joke. Ignore me.
Oh.
It's okay.
And yeah, and my alien.
Nice.
So I missed the eye part. I'll listen to the video, but really the clarity now of the delineation of the face has really made an impression on me. It's going to help me a lot.
Good.
So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie. I'm happy that it was helpful. I know it's a lot of information in such a small time, but it's like, think of it as a prompt for future research. Like, I have no, like, I don't expect to be able to explain complex stuff in such a small time, but I try to give, just a little bit of.
No, this was wonderful. This was so much that I'd never heard before, honestly, just the way the face gets broken down. Usually it's the circle and then just the cross in the middle where the eyes go, etc. But breaking it down into thirds and then more thirds, and then your Iron Man reference is terrific.
Oh my God. Disney or Robert Downey Jr. are gonna come from me at one point. Okay, thank you so much, Bonnie. And then
great weekend.
Thank you, you too. And then Justine.
Yes, I did several tries also, but yeah, just wanted to thank you. It was very, very clear, and I just can't wait to try to apply it with real portraits, like, or trying to real faces. So yeah.
If you do,
I don't know if you have some advices for this, maybe. I don't know.
If, like, when you want to achieve realism, it's always what I said before, forget the lines, focus on the shadows and the way the shadows shape the features. And if you see that you're pushing too hard, maybe take a kneaded eraser and then tone down everything and then start shaping again with the shadows. Make it like a gradual process rather than trying to fix the feature right away with strong contour lines. Try to get there building up slowly and carving the face out. And if you have social media, again, if you have Instagram or if there is my email, if you have practice that you want me to give you feedback for, really, you've been my students forever. So you have the VIP student treatment. Just send me emails, I'll give you feedback and I'll be happy to support you. Don't worry, don't be shy, okay?
Okay, that's very lovely.
Thank you, just. And then anybody else that wants to share or wants feedback, raise your hand, either physically or Haresh. Okay, I know that asking you to use the reactions on Zoom, it's too much, but you need to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Haresh. Unmute. Okay.
I tried to use the reactions, but it didn't seem to work. So this was incredibly helpful for me. I mean, they look bizarre, but the exercise of just doing the shadows really, I think I'll do a lot more of that as a practice. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much. It was great.
Thank you, Harish. And I think Anne-Louise, I saw Anne-Louise waving. Unmute yourself too. Okay. No? No. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I needed the teaching of shadows because I tend to do line drawings. And I really appreciate this. This is a very good teaching in such a short time. And I'm very impressed by the way you teach. And then I have made a criminal, and the shadow criminal is this simple.
Uh-huh.
And then, yeah, and quickly, and then I made this one. And I think this looks like a total alien. I don't know if I make this, I still need to work on the shadows, but I think I can, yeah, it can be a good start to,
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the guy.
Yeah. It has this 3/4 profile. I don't know if it's the influence of my demo, but they all have this very Renaissance man, like frowny Renaissance man vibe.
Thank you.
Nice. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. And okay, is there anybody else that has questions or wants to share something? I'm here for you. Okay, so if there isn't anybody else, I would like to ask to the people that are still connected if we can take a group picture of drawing. So not your face, just everybody raise your drawing to the camera, and I will try to take a screenshot. 1 second, I need to be able to okay, I need to make the window bigger. And okay, we are on 2 pages. So hold the drawing up still and hold it there until I tell you to keep it down, because I need to take 2 screenshots because I have 2 pages of people. Okay, so 1, ready? And then second one, stay there, stay there. Perfect. Thank you so much. And it was lovely teaching this class, and I'm very happy to have met you all and have people from all over the world. It's always so, I don't know, I really love it. I love teaching online so much. It has been the unexpected gift of this pandemic, honestly.
Yeah.
And before we say goodbye, usually the wrap-up ritual that we do is that we all unmute ourselves together and we all say goodbye very loudly and cheerfully together. So just unmute yourselves. I think I may have the power to ask you to unmute yourself. Okay, everybody, unmute yourself, and so we can say goodbye. So yeah. Have a lovely evening or day, depending on your time zone. Assume vitamin C. Take care of yourself, and I hope to see you in the next one. And yeah, thank you again for being here. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Ciao.
Bye.